Hey everyone, and welcome. If you're an online seller, a freelancer, or an exporter here in India, you know that feeling, right? Getting paid by an international client is just awesome. But then, what comes next can feel like you're trying to solve a puzzle filled with a bunch of confusing acronyms. Well, today we're going to clear all that up. We're going to demystify the world of export certificates so you know exactly which ones you need and why. Let's dive in. So picture this. You've made that sale. The invoice has been paid. The money is flying in from a client somewhere else in the world. I mean, what a win for your business, right? And then, right on cue, here it comes, the paperwork. All of a sudden, you're hearing these weird terms like BRC, FIRC, and you're just sitting there thinking, wait, what are these? And which ones do I actually need to stay compliant and, get my benefits? Okay, so let's think of this whole thing as a puzzle. These certificates, they aren't just annoying bureaucratic hurdles. They're actually crucial keys. They're what unlock your GST refunds, they make sure you're compliant with rules like FEMA, and they serve as the official proof of all your hard-earned export income. Seriously, getting this right is absolutely fundamental to growing your business globally. All right, let's kick things off with the two most common certificates that come directly from your bank, the BRC and the BIRC. Now, I know they sound almost identical, but trust me, they do very, very different jobs. First up, we've got the BRC, which stands for Bank Realization Certificate. Now, the main thing to remember here, the keyword is goods. A BRC is specifically tied to the export of physical goods. It's basically your bank giving you an official nod, saying, yep, we can confirm you got this payment for these specific items that you shipped out. So who needs to be asking for a BRC? Well, it's mainly for you folks exporting actual physical products. If you're selling tangible items and you want to claim some of those government incentives from the Directorate General of Foreign Trade, or DGFT, this certificate is going to be your golden ticket. Let me give you a perfect example. Let's say you're an artisan, right? You sell beautiful handmade crafts on Etsy. You make a $300 sale to a customer over in the US. The payment hits your Indian bank account. The BRC that you get from your bank, that's the official piece of paper that links that specific payment to that specific craft you exported. Simple as that. Okay, next up is the BIRC, the Bank Inward Remittance Certificate. And here is where the big difference is. A BIRC is way broader. It's a certificate for pretty much any foreign money that comes into your account, not just for physical goods. And this is what makes the BIRC so useful for a whole lot more people. If you're a freelancer providing design services, or you're a consultant, or maybe you sell digital products, the BIRC is your go-to general-purpose proof of foreign income. It just validates that you got money from abroad. So let's put them side by side just to make it totally crystal clear. The BRC is specific, like a laser beam pointing right at a physical product you exported. The BIRC, on the other hand, is broad. It's like a big floodlight that covers any and all foreign income. One's for goods, the other is for, well, everything else. All right, so we've covered the B's. Now let's get into the F's, the FRC and the FIRC. These are less about what you actually sold and more about the remittance itself, the money transfer. And let me tell you, this is where things get really, really important for online sellers. So let's start with the FRC, the Foreign Remittance Certificate. This is kind of a generic term. Sometimes you might get a document that looks like an FRC directly from a payment gateway, say like Payoneer. It just confirms that a foreign payment came through, but it often lacks those official details that you really need. And here is a super critical piece of advice. An FRC is usually considered informal. Yeah, it's handy for your own records, but government bodies like the GST department, they might just turn around and say, nope, not good enough, when you try to use it for official stuff like claiming refunds. So just think of it as informal proof. And that, my friends, brings us to the main event, the FIRC, the Foreign Inward Remittance Certificate. This is the heavyweight champion of all remittance documents. It is an official certificate from an authorized bank confirming you received foreign funds and you did it in compliance with India's FEMA regulations. This is the one that really opens doors. And here's why the FIRC is just so powerful. You need to claim a GST refund under your LUT or for IGST, you're going to need an FIRC. You want to prove your export earnings to a bank to get a loan, or maybe you're going through an audit, the FIRC is your document. It is without a doubt the gold standard for officially proving your international income. Okay, so we've met all four contenders, BRC, BIRC, FRC, and FIRC. And look, they all have their place, but in the world of online business and service exports, there is a very, very clear winner. So let's just cut to the chase. After all this info, you're probably asking, okay, this is great, but which one do I actually need to be focused on for my business?
This table really just lays it all out. Just look at that best use column. See? BRC is for goods. BIRC, general proof. FRC is just informal. But look at FIRC, GST refund and FEMA compliance. That is where the real power lies for most of us modern exporters.
And there it is. For the vast majority of you out there, the online sellers, the freelancers, the service providers exporting from India, the FIRC is king. It is the single most important document you can have to make sure you are compliant, that you can claim your refunds, and that you have undisputed proof of your export earnings. Period. So, knowing FIRC is king is one thing. But how do you actually make sure you get one for every single transaction? Okay, let's walk through a super simple, actionable plan. Here are 3 essential tips. 1. Just make it a habit. Always ask your bank for an FIRC. 2. Don't just assume platforms like PayPal or Payoneer are going to handle it. They bring the money in, sure, but you need to proactively request the FIRC from your Indian bank, the one where the money actually lands. And 3, be prepared. Have your invoice number, the date, and the amount ready to go. It'll make the whole application process so much faster. So let's do one last quick recap. FIRC is your most important document, for sure. BRC is for physical goods. BIRC is a general proof of income, and FRC is just the informal one. So what's the bottom line? Collect and carefully file away your FIRCs. They are the absolute backbone of your export compliance.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about. Don't let paperwork be this huge hurdle. Instead, start seeing it as a tool. Because when you understand and you manage documents like the FIRC correctly, your paperwork isn't a burden anymore. It's actually the engine that powers your compliance and your growth. So is your paperwork working for you?